Good day. This is another wonderful time. We want to come together to consider some couple of things in somebody you propose to marry. Last week, don't forget, we were able to discover some couple of things we share together. But now we want to look into another important thing, which is social value of somebody you want to marry. We've talked about social value. Social value is talking about the social life of the opposite sex you intending to marry. And it's very important. If the social life of someone you want to marry is very high, it can affect both of you. It can affect the man, it can equally affect the woman. And by the time they continue bearing children, it can equally affect the children. And this is why we need to consider it very, very well. First and foremost, the social life of woman normally very high than the man most time. But there are certain occasions that the man's social life too can be high, much higher, but not as much as that of the woman. When a woman's social value is very high, eventually the man is a person that tries to have awareness of it. There is need to look into what can do in order to reduce it so that it will not affect both of them at the end of the day. Take for instance, the business of the man is going on very fine at the beginning. No problem. They were doing very fine in the house. When they come together, they start bearing children. But the woman did not have anything doing. At the end of the day, perhaps a little challenge occur in the business of that man. It may affect the family if proper care is not taken. Another important thing is that you have a man that has a social value that is very high as a woman. And this young man started with having 2, 3, or 4 cars and is living in it as a tenant in the house. As a woman, when you understand this, you can try to see what you can do to bring what we call adjustable life. Advising that a man to sell part of the cars, using that money to go and buy land so that you can start building. Failure to do that may affect the whole family at the end of the day. That is another important thing you need to know. So in looking into that, a thing you feel that can happen today that may affect the whole marriage in the future, that may even go further to affect the children, there is always need to look into such a thing and do whatever adjustable that demanding so that things can work well at the end of the day. I remember a man married a woman. Both of them had a very high adjustable life. And at the end of the day, the social life eventually very high. Very, very high. They go together, they go to party, they do a lot of things together. And the business of the man was very booming, very fine. Things were moving smoothly. At a certain time, the business of that man has challenge. That was the beginning of the problem. And they cannot continue the way they used to do. And eventually become very difficult to adjust. Since they have not been living an adjustable life, in order to see what they can do to bring down the social value or the social life, it affects the whole family. It affects the man, the woman, and the children. Another important thing in looking into it, as a woman, when you look into around you, you should be able to look into what you can do. Don't use every money to buy clothes. Remember, the cloth you bought 2 years ago may not worth it wearing today because it has lost the value. And when you want to bring it afresh again, nobody is looking into it. So when you look into that, you can sit down to see some things you can lay your hands upon in order to be doing, so that at the end of the day, it will not affect the marriage, both the man, the woman, and the children in the next future. You as a man, when you look into the social value of a woman you want to marry, and you are able to discover that the social value is very high, you can sit down to see what you can do. Lead her in a very good way. Advise her in a very, approach her in a very good manner, so that you can bring it down, at least to the level that it will not affect the family. And if eventually the man's social value is high, the woman too can see everything to do about it in order to bring it down, so that both of you can adjust whenever it is necessary. When you do that one, at the end of the day, it's going to affect both of you. It's going to affect the family. And these are reasons you need to come together to adjust. And you need a proper understanding in your relationship. When you understand the relationship, in that relationship, proper understanding can help both of you to adjust whichever area that is necessary. It can help you. You can do so many things together with that one. It can lead both of you to adjustable life. It can lead both of you to coping strategy, so that the whole family can live very fine. This is why we are trying to consider that aspect very, very well. Very, very well. It's a thing we need to look into critically. Especially, things are changing every day. Things are changing, and things are still changing. You can only understand today. The next minute you don't know what can happen. And that is why we need to look into that aspect critically, and to do whatever necessary adjustment it will be okay with you when you do that. By the time you do that, you discover that it's going to help both of you, and it's going to help the children in the future. But failure to do that can even lead problem into marriage, and it can eventually break the relationship at the end of the day. So let's consider that very well. Don't see it as if this one is minor. Every word is very important for the wife. Keep to it, live into adjustable life, develop a coping strategy to make sure that the opposite sex, the social value is not too high to the level that will affect the family. I'm going to stop here today. God bless you. We'll meet next. Bye for now.